what I liked about Hatsumi is, I'd look at what we were doing, and there weren't a lot of foreigners training there then. There were a few. There was some guys from England, a couple of Americans, and then every week or so there'd be a plane load of tourists coming in to train from different parts of the country or the world, come for a week or two in Japan usually and train whatever, a few nights a week, and go home. So there was a lot of people coming and going, but as far as regular, every class, every week, there was only a handful of us that were not Japanese. And we were kind of like their pets in a way, because most of us were young. I was one of the oldest. I was like 29 when I went over. A lot of these guys were in their teens still, and early 20s. So there was that kind of big brotherly attitude towards everybody. So I got away with, I didn't realize it at the time, but I was getting away with stuff that some people would have gotten upset about. But the Grandmaster was actually so cool, such a nice guy. I'd ask a question because, well, I'm looking at this, I have a question. We're doing this technique, but, well, yeah, but, what if somebody punches like a boxer, like most people will punch? And I didn't realize that when I would ask the question, there would be people in the room getting upset with me because that was considered rude. And I should know better because I ran into the same things here, but the difference between people who are trying too hard and the people who are actually that thing, a legitimate martial arts master, he would laugh and say, okay, well, come here. And next thing you know, I'd be throwing punches and kicks at the Grandmaster. And he'd be laughing, and everything that I could throw at him, everything I did, no matter how different it was from what the traditional thing we were doing was, it basically was like a gift to him. Okay, yeah, that's cool, let's go out and dance. Now I can improvise, because he is a master of improvisation. He's just phenomenal. After decades, he's still pulling, like a magician, pulling rabbits out of a hat. And it's always a different rabbit, kind of a thing. And that's why so many people that I know have been from all over the world still training with him, like 30, 40 years later. And it's always new, and it's always fun and refreshing. And the fact that I was nobody, I just, some kid from America. And yeah, okay, whatever. And sometimes they'd be doing whatever they were doing, and then he goes, okay, Kowalski, I know you have a question. What do we want to do now? And I got to where I'd be trying to come up with off-the-wall things to throw at him, and I did, and he had fun with it, and I think it might have helped some of the other guys relax a little bit. And all of a sudden they were realizing they could have fun too. It wasn't that overly serious. So that was one of the things I really appreciated about him. One, he didn't take himself that seriously. Other people might have. We were having that conversation earlier about people being put up on the pedestal. They don't want to be there. The other people need them to be there, kind of a thing. It's like, okay. But he was, I call it artful dodger in a sense. Everybody was trying to have him be what they wanted him to be in a martial arts master. And he was just being who he wanted to be. And it worked out great. And you could kind of watch the psychology, the group psychology sometimes, and especially with the every week or two turnover of people from some other country who had read about him in books, and there weren't any videos out yet. There was only 2 short videos that you could get about Hatsumi and what we did. And a lot of the people who were setting themselves up as teachers were taking themselves very seriously. They wanted to be on the pedestal. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So they'd have brainwash their students, you know, because I have to be special. So you have to worship me, and now we're going to see the wizard, who's even more special. And they'd get over there and then see Hatsumi Sensei he clowns around. He was always making jokes, dancing around. I mean, you could not go to his class and not laugh. I'm like, wait a minute, these are supposed to be like the most deadly, you know, assassins from the history of Japan, the silent secret killers, the invisible warriors, and this guy's a friggin' stand-up comic. And then it started making more and more sense.